talk about seeking sister wife, but mainly I want to focus on Dannielle and Garrick, aka Great Value Joel Osteen, in this video. So Garrick had me cringing from the first time we laid eyes on him this season when he was sitting there talking about, oh yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, when you actually jizz inside a girl, that's you filling the girl with the Holy Spirit. And he claims that the Bible says that, and I don't know what Bible he's reading, but it just seems like Garrick likes to twist and turn scriptures to fit his narrative. Like he likes to talk about, oh, you know, I'm gonna live polygamous because God had multiple wives, but he wants to engage in premarital sex. And I think God would frown upon that. So Garrick and Dannielle are extremely serious about polygamy. They're so serious that they decided to get divorced their first season so they could try to bring over their potential sister wife Roberta at the time, because she was from Brazil and she'd have to come over on the 90-day visa. So they ended up getting divorced just for Roberta to scam them out of $10,000 and not come to America. And now, after that happened, Dannielle's got her guard up and she doesn't even really seem like she's ready for another sister wife to come in the picture yet. But Garrick is just putting the pedal to the metal. He's moving forward. Now we got Garrick and Dannielle, and they're back in Mexico, and their new potential sister wife, Nathalia, she's from Brazil. And at first I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about her because she's young, she's 25 years old, she's from a different country, and kind of like how Dannielle's thinking, I had reservations that she may do the same thing to them once again, or just might be using them to be on TV. But the more I get to know Nathalia, I actually like her, and I think she's pretty level-headed, and I think she's exactly what Garrick actually needs. It may not have been what Garrick was hoping for. I think he was hoping that all his potential wives would just be submissive and go with the flow. And that seems like the exact opposite of Nathalia. Instead of spending the whole trip trying to bang Garrick like Roberta did, she's actually trying to sit down with him, communicate with Garrick and Dannielle, and try to get to know them. And it seems like Dannielle doesn't seem to be on board with all this as much as she wants everyone to believe. She was in a live the other day on Instagram and people were asking her like, girl, you seem miserable, just leave him, you seem like you don't want to do this. And she's like, you guys don't even know the full story. This was my idea to live in polygamy. I'm the one that brought the idea up to him. And it just seems like she may have thought about it like it was a good idea, but things aren't always as good when they play out compared to how you think they're going to be in your head. And I think Dannielle is slowly realizing that. I just feel like she is only doing this for Garrick, and Dannielle put herself in a tough position by divorcing Garrick, because if he sends over Nathalia and he marries her, she's going to be his legal wife. And if they want to just leave Dannielle in the dust, then that'd be a lot easier to leave Dannielle behind since she's no longer a wife. And what I wonder is what would happen if a wife came into the picture and turned against Dannielle, and if she came to Garrick and was like, hey, you know, I want to be with you, but the only way I'm going to be with you is if you cut off your first wife. And I feel like Garrick would be willing to do that in a heartbeat. He'd be willing to get rid of Dannielle for the next Brazilian baddie. In the last episode, Nathalia sat Garrick down and talked things out with Dannielle, and she's like, look, sister, you don't look that happy. And Dannielle said, look, I'm still traumatized over everything that Roberta put her through. And Garrick walks up and Nathalia was like, look, you know, sister's not happy. And Garrick, he just looked like he was so annoyed. You could tell that he was annoyed that Dannielle was getting emotional. He was feeling like Dannielle was standing in the way of him having this happy-go-lucky time with Nathalia and ruining things for him. And you could tell like he was a little annoyed, thinking that Dannielle was almost being like a cockblock. He seems so annoyed that Dannielle wasn't willing to just go with the flow and put her emotions on the back burner. And I think that Garrick was hoping that Nathalia would be the complete opposite of Dannielle. I think Dannielle doesn't talk about things as often as she should because Garrick seems to get annoyed when she gets emotional. So instead, it seems like she just bottles up all her feelings, and that's why she gets so emotional and just like burst out at the seams with her emotions when she does talk about things because she's been bearing it for so long. It seems like with the Roberta situation, she really needs to get a counselor, really talk to somebody about what happened with her. I think Nathalia made a great point when she was like, look, you can't punish me for the actions that someone else did in the past. I'm not that person. And she's correct. That's not fair to her whatsoever. You can just tell that Dannielle is not fully healed from that experience. And it's kind of affecting what Garrick's got going on with Nathalia right now. And then Nathalia, she's not able to speak English. So she has to use a translator to speak with Garrick and Dannielle. And she was using Garrick's phone and she was using the translator, and next thing you know, up pops a notification for a dating app. And she got super annoyed because Garrick told her whenever they started dating and they're looking at her at being a potential wife, Garrick was like, look, I'm gonna get off all the dating apps for you, baby. And she was like, look, I didn't ask Garrick to do those things. He's the one that told me he was going to delete all the dating apps. And she was upset when she saw that not only did he not delete the dating apps and he's still active on there, but this man doesn't even know how many dating apps he's on because he's on so many. Dannielle estimates that they're probably on at least 10 different apps. And Garrick explained, well, for us, it's a lot harder for us to find someone since we're polygamous. So we got to pretty much go on every app that's out there to try to have chances of finding someone. So, of course, Nathalia was not happy at all. She was calling Garrick out, and Garrick did not know how to respond. He was just sitting there looking like a sad little puppy, crying his eyes out. Well, it looked like he was trying to cry, but there really weren't any tears. It was just more like crocodile tears. I don't think Garrick's used to being called out because he didn't know how to react. And I appreciated Dannielle because she ended up calling out Garrick, and she's like, look, I tried to get you to delete the dating apps for me, and you weren't even willing to do that for me, but now you're willing to do that for Nathalia, and it just seems like that's not fair at all. He should be treating them both equal. He should be willing to do the same for Dannielle that he's willing to do for Nathalia, and if he would have listened to Dannielle from the jump, then he wouldn't even be having this issue. So after a while, Garrick sitting there crying or pretending like he was crying, Dannielle started to feel bad, and Nathalia just kept grilling Garrick, and she's like, look, I just want to let you know, Nathalia, that I know Garrick's heart. I've been with him for years, and I know that he did not lie to you on purpose to hurt you. He didn't mean to do it. He must have forgot. And Nathalia was like, look, I'm going to need you to stop coming to bat for Garrick. He's a grown man, and he needs to learn how to take responsibility and deal with the consequences of his actions. And I was really proud of Nathalia for doing that. She is very mature for her age, and that is the truth though, because it's not going to be fair, and they're not going to have a great plural family if every time Garrick does something wrong, Dannielle is steady defending him. And I know she feels like she needs to have his back because she's been with him for so many years, but it's only fair that if he does something wrong to Nathalia, he's got to deal with that without Dannielle jumping into the mix. And Garrick had the audacity to be like, man, I got these two women at my throat. I don't know how to deal with this. I'm so concerned. Well, if you can't deal with two women, then how do you expect to deal with 5 women? So I guess we're gonna see what happens from here, because Garrick was planning to propose to Nathalia, but now it seems like everything that can go wrong is, and honestly it's just Nathalia trying to get to know Garrick, and it seems like every time she peels back another layer, there's something else that's coming to light about Garrick and something shady that he's doing. I'm not gonna lie, it actually kind of felt good to see Garrick finally cry, or at least attempt to cry, after all the times that he's made Dannielle cry throughout the seasons and after all the stuff he's put her through. But that is it for this video, guys. I guess we'll see if he ends up proposing to Nathalia in the next episode. He had plans to propose, and I think he's trying to get that kitty cat ASAP, but it seems like nothing has been turning out the way he was hoping it would. And for those of you guys who don't know, Sarcasm actually talked about some spoilers, so they went and saw the episode synopsis, which talks about like the description of all the future episodes coming up. And one of the final episodes talks about how Dannielle and Garrick ended up spending a month apart. And then once they finally were reunited, Dannielle dropped a bombshell on Garrick. And Sarcasm is assuming that Garrick probably found out that Dannielle was pregnant right around the time that she would have filmed her announcing this bombshell, which we think it may be she's pregnant. She ended up taking a 9-month hiatus from social media, and that kind of adds up with her trying to hide her pregnancy. Then people notice that they've been working on their dream home forever, because Garrick does construction, and they built this dream home so they can live as a plural family, and they can have their living headquarters, and they can have, you know, different rooms for all the wives. And they noticed that after they went on this break, that they ended up putting the house for sale. So people are wondering, why are they suddenly putting this house that they worked on for years building up for sale? And someone noticed that in the pictures of the house listing, there was a picture of a nursery, which adds up even more with them recently having a baby. But that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. So far, I have enjoyed this season. It's so nice to see Garrick finally get his karma. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.